GM, we're live. We kind of middled it today. Planning to go live at 9. I was ready to go. Oh my gosh, I have the music way too loud. Oh my god. Well, I hope no one's on replay is deaf, because I did not mean to have that loud. This is what I get for starting at a weird time. But anyway, we're live. Might be a few minutes before people trickle on in. We got the 4-hole. Haven't really drafted too much out of the 4-hole lately. I imagine I'm light on Puka and or Jamar Chase at this point. But good morning, everybody. Let me get the ticker rolling here. Get everything sorted. All right. So Bijan goes. So we'll probably end up with Jamar Chase on this team, I would have to imagine. Hartman, GM to you. Appreciate you so much coming in, hanging out. Everyone, please let me know if I have the music too loud. We will get that addressed. And we end up with Puka. So no complaints here. Puka Nacua comes in. I don't recognize any names in here. Don't know who the heck is drafting here at 8:40 in the morning. But appreciate all of you coming in and hanging out. Mr. B. Grandy, good morning. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Likewise, call me Memisha82. Good morning to you. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Purple Yosh, as always, one of the best ones out there. Appreciate you, Purple Yosh. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your day. And we are off. Let me get one more setting set up here. But yeah, I think the biggest news yesterday probably was Romeo Doubs to the Patriots, at least from our perspective. I think bigger news was the Max Crosby trade falling through. A lot of finger pointing out there on that one, but it does seem mostly the greasy Twitter is blaming the Ravens, saying the Ravens weaseled out of this trade and left the Raiders high and dry. The Raiders, of course, now missed out on a bunch of free agents. They don't get the draft pick they were counting on. They're allegedly not happy. Who the heck knows what happened, but Max Crosby did not pass his physical, according to the Baltimore Ravens. Hey, PPR Tyler, good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day. If y'all don't sub to PPR Tyler, he is well into the 40s of consecutive days, is shooting for 200 and beyond. So give this man a follow and a sub. PPR Tyler, one of the best ones out there. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Mr. Tyler, we started this draft with Puka. It does feel like the early running backs have moved up even further. They've moved up even further. Ken Walker, of course, we once upon a time could take him here at 28 pretty reliably. Now he has turned into a 1-2 turn player. In this draft already, we're seeing, Jeremiah Love moved up, Saquon higher than normal. So we'll see if we even get a shot at Chase Brown or Derrick Henry. I would be surprised if we get Ken Walker, but, maybe this 840 crowd who I don't recognize. So they may not be in the room. If they are, of course, hello. Please identify yourself. We'll see. Oh man, we're either going to get Walker or Henry, so not a bad start here. I think there is some debate over who would be the better pick, Ken Walker or Derrick Henry. I think some of the guys were talking on Chip Chasing yesterday about that. I'm probably going to try to be at market on both of them, but we'll take Ken Walker there. Chase Brown, a little bit of a winner from free agency. The Bengals didn't bring anyone in. They're, of course, live to draft somebody, but really after Jeremiah Love, we're not super scared. We're not super scared of many of these running backs coming in and usurping his role. Obviously, they could bring in somebody with a little bit of juice. It doesn't seem to require too much juice to take carries away from Chase Brown, being that P. Ryan was getting goal line work and taking almost half the snaps. But we'll see, at least so far. So far, so good for the Chase Brown people. Trey McBride, Brock Bowers back-to-back here at the back end of the front end of the back end of the second round, the front end of the board. So interesting to see that. I actually thought that McBride would rise as man, this is a tough spot. I hope I get Josh Jacobs. Bucky Irving to me, I do not like with Gainwell coming in. I'm not big on Breece Hall, although many are. Wow, he takes Bucky. All right, we'll just take Josh Jacobs. I think that's a little bit of a gift for us there. Bucky Irving, of course, they brought in Kenny Gainwell. Interesting signing there to me. Don't know how I feel about it. I also feel like Tampa's live to add another running back in the draft to be the goal line back. I think that really could happen, and it could just become a three-headed monster. Right now, all it is Gainwell and Bucky. So we'll see what they end up doing there. Jets drop bombs. GM to you. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your morning. Appreciate you coming in. Sorry I passed on Breece Hall there. I don't know your feelings on your New York Jets, but I am very worried about them. I'm very worried that we could be at total ecosystem collapse with Glenn Allen leading the charge with Geno. Outdoor Geno in the AFC East. Just, oh gosh, it could be so bad. It could be so bad for a lot of really fun fantasy pieces. But we will see. Hartman, should Etienne move up on the Saints? Hartman, I don't know. I need help with that one. I really don't know how to feel about it. I think I like it, but a lot depends on Kamara. Is Kamara getting cut? Is Kamara retiring? Is he getting traded? Famously last year, he said he would just retire if they were going to trade him. If I'm the Saints, I say, all right. Sounds good. Goodbye. I don't know. I don't know. We will see, though. We're coming back up, though. It looks like this is fertile ground for wide receivers. My preference here would have been Luther Burden. He goes as I'm talking. He's such a fun click. Zay Flowers, I'm a little underweight on. Wouldn't mind getting some of that. Colston Loveland, though, Loveland is very tempting here. The machine, however, is disagreeing with that. Doesn't even have Loveland at all here. You know what? This is my draft. I'm going to take Colston Loveland here. I like Colston Loveland. We've seen him break slates. Could I have pushed him? Maybe. Maybe it would all depend on what this Roto Heat guy does, because people don't love going double elite tight end. So maybe if there was a time to try to push him to 52, I could have. But I imagine this Roto Heat guy probably wouldn't have let him come back around the turn. D33Q. I don't know if that's DQ in lead speak, but DQ, first of all, thanks for coming in, hanging out. Willing to forgive Geno. I was a Geno truther going into last season. I'll admit it. I'm very transparent about my mistakes. I thought Geno in a dome was a different animal. I believed in the dome Geno narrative. You can absolutely blame a lot of Geno's troubles on the Raiders, but I think he was part of the problem. That's my issue. I think Geno was legitimately one of the things that was wrong with the Raiders. The machine really likes Mike Evans here. I'm gonna disagree, and I'm actually gonna. All right, I'll take Judkins. I really do feel like the late running backs have gotten a little squirrely. Some of the targets in that pick 100-ish range didn't get the world's greatest runouts. So I'm a little less thrilled about reaching down into Dowdle, Gainwell, Algier than I was. The market, though, is liking Algier to Arizona. I tend to think agree. I think that's going to end up being just fine for him, but it could have been better. So I'm actually a little surprised he's risen. Jetstrap Bomb says, why would Walker move up? Worse O-line, potentially injured QB. We talked about this one a lot yesterday. I think there's definitely something to be said that we've double counted it. We knew he was a free agent. He was escaping the clutches of Charbonnet. He could go to a team that would use him as a bell cow. And then he went to a team that is likely to have some kind of split. He definitely could get vultured a lot by Kareem Hunt. There is reason for concern that it's not going to be like the playoff / Super Bowl usage that we saw. That said, it's the Chiefs. It's Chiefs. People love the Chiefs. Pat Mahomes, it seems like he might actually be ready for week 1. I don't know. It is tough to bet against the Chiefs. So last year was the first year that really paid off. And I think it's as simple as people do not want to be out on the Chiefs RB1. I think I consider myself in that boat. I'd rather not be taking him at pick 21, but I think that's just the world we live in. And I think, you know, him and, say, Chase Brown, I think they're somewhat similar bets at this point. And I don't want to be out on Chase Brown either. Just like the primary back on an offense that we're really into. Oh, you're a Lions fan. Okay. Gotcha. Brian the Goober, GM to you. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Brian, I have not watched the famous video yet, but I will. I'm going to make it a point today to watch the Brian and Gumby in LA video. So that's out there on YouTube. I'm gonna have to check it out. I think that's on G for Gumby's channel. So excited to take a look at that. We are in a world of quarterbacks. It's so interesting that it has Caleb not even in here on the sidekick, despite me having Loveland. I'm going to get Jaden Daniels. I feel like this is a really good price for Jaden Daniels. Pick 69 here. So I will grab that. That seems kind of intriguing to me. But again, surprised that the sidekick had May and Hurts ahead of the stack. Definitely undervaluing or putting less value on the stack as compared to the just raw projection. Is my assumption there. OTR notes, I feel like you can poke a hole in any running back picked after round 8 or 9, maybe earlier. Very interesting. Yeah, that's been the meta for most of this draft cycle, right? It seems like we have been pretty leery about some of these guys. Wow, it wants me to take another quarterback. Good golly. Gosh, it's just so hard for me to pass on these wide receivers, especially when I only have Puka. Just structurally, I'm not there yet, I don't think. Or a second tight end? I don't know, guys. I'm going to go back to the well and keep doing my thing. I'm going to take my Michael Wilson with Brissett. With Brissett going back to Arizona. I think that's pretty fun. My fear is that it ends up being Gardner Minshew in the time we need him most. I am genuinely concerned about that. I think the likelihood of Brissett starting 17 games, even if he starts week 1, feels really low. And I almost feel like the best outcome for guys like Wilson is honestly that Minshew wins the job. He plays 5 weeks. They suck. They're out of playoff contention. And then it's just Brissett scam season. To me, if the Cardinals are actually good and competitive, they're probably doing it through Algier and Connor, and we're not getting 65 Brissett dropbacks. So we need to thread the needle of the Cardinals being competent enough that they don't just completely fall apart, but not good enough to where they're like in close games. All right, we are coming up. Wow, Caleb went all the way at pick 83 to the Odunze drafters. That is a huge fall. A huge fall there on that. Jets drop bombs, getting some Davis vibes on all the IKB on the sidekick this morning. Well, we do that on this channel as well. A lot of IKBing on the sidekick. Brian says, thanks, Chad. Had fun putting the video together, enjoying the team you're drafting. I'm glad you are, despite my lack of giants. I hope you're liking the team so far. There goes Pitts and Kraft. So a little slew of tight ends go here. To me, once you miss on this tight end cluster, you might as well just kind of wait till pretty close to the end. Let's see what the sidekick is asking us to do. Do I like these? Man, this running back area is pretty sketchy. Pretty sketchy. I'm gonna take of this group. I'll take Blake Corum to pair with Puka. I have real fear that the Tony Pollard ADP and projection is on the knife's edge of them taking Jeremiah Love. I could absolutely see Tennessee taking Love there, and then Pollard probably would get traded or cut. And I guess if that happens, he could end up somewhere better. But it's going to be a little. Anyone can hear me. Don't know. I don't know if we're still here. My power went out. My power went out. This is a disaster. I am now on one monitor in the dark. We'll see if we're live at all. We will see. Are we back? No, the R2D. You can see us. All right, we're back. We're back. I am now on a single monitor. The lighting is going to change every time I go back from you all because I'm really in the dark here. But yeah, appreciate you all. I'll probably, if the power stays off, I don't think I'll do a second draft because this is so killer. All right, we have what do we want to do? The sidekick is still chugging along. Thank God. Thank God. The sidekick is telling me to take Kyler or Kincaid. I think I'm going to take Kincaid here. We'll get a second tight end. Oh my God, this is a disaster, folks. This is a disaster. But appreciate all of you. All right. He's back. Oh yeah, you have a nice background music. Good. Good. Yeah, Gunnar Ross, we're having some real trouble here. I need to open my window because I'm getting like really weird lighting. Yes, you did, Gunnar Ross. We're having a lot of problems. We're having a lot of problems. I can see you. Oh, I can't believe my power went out. That's not great. That's not great. All right. Give me a second so I can... Well, let me make my pick and then I'll open the window. But appreciate all of you. If you can, drop a like, drop a sub. Sub to this mess. It's great. It only can go up from here. My goodness. Nick P, GM, I hope you're having a great day. I'm hot-spotted on my phone. I have no power. I'm on my laptop. But we're fighting through it. The machine is telling us take Sam Darnold. I don't even know who's on this team. I think I agree with that, Darnold over Stroud. So all right, let me do that, and then let me open my window. Good God. All right, 1 second. Oh my God, now the sidekick is leaving me. Failed to get... All right, we're back. We're back. That lighting might even be worse. But here we go. All right. Oh, the music is too loud. All right, let me fix that. Let me fix that. All right. Here we go. Here we go. We are back. It is very hard. Yeah, Go Easy Card says, GM, if we can get 50 likes, Scandals has to draft 100% machine. I've thought about doing that. I tried yesterday to do Top Click Tuesday, and I utterly failed. So I that was not great. We did okay. We did a mostly sidekick draft, but appreciate all of you. Hey, GM to you, Nick. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, Hendrickson Ravens. I saw some greasy theories that they once that happened, then they backed out of the Crosby deal. But we'll see. We will see. We know the Raiders are not very happy about it. Go Easy Card. Saw the video, Brian, all alone on Muscle Beach. Wanted to see you benching next to a 300-pound shredded beast. Don't know spoilers, Go Easy Cards. I haven't seen the video yet. Yeah, B. Grandy Hendrickson, 2 Ravens. Yep. Nick P wishes he had more Dobbs. I had like 21% Dobbs, but I agree. I would have been happy with more. Where did he go in this draft? I'm curious. He went at pick 110. So we passed on him to take Pittman. I think you could certainly make the argument that Romeo Dobbs was a better selection. I'm pretty happy with my Dobbs exposure. I quite liked Romeo Dobbs before. I think he's a nice signing for the Pats. So again, appreciate all of you putting up with this kind of weird stream. If the power doesn't come back, I'm gonna have to cut it after this because it's very hard to stream on only one monitor. And if my battery dies, then the stream is gone. It's gone for good. Hey, Bukowski, good morning to you. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. I really need candles for this very incident. So what do we got? We got Jaden Daniels. We got Darnold. The machine wants us to take Mendoza. I think I'm gonna grab Concepcion because we're so light on wide receiver, and then hopefully we get Danny Dimes on the wrap. I'm also okay pushing it. We have Daniels and Darnold. We could go for one of the late QB options as well, or even Jacoby Brissett potentially. But I do caution that Brissett does feel very live to be kind of an illusory starting QB. He has so much fragility that he's actually going to be the quarterback when you need him most. We'll see. Rachaad White up at the top of the sidekick. He is absolutely live to go to Jacksonville and become very valuable there. If you think that's happening, I would be grabbing him in this range. I'm still in denial that that's going to happen, though. I don't really like Rachaad White that much, but I do think if he goes to Jacksonville, he's somebody you're going to want some parts of. With all that said, this is probably just Mendoza if he comes back to me, assuming Roto Heat doesn't take a 4th quarterback, which he does not. So we will grab Mendoza. For the audio listeners, we got Jaden Daniels, Sam Darnold, Fernando Mendoza, Ken Walker, Josh Jacobs, Quinshon Judkins, Blake Corum, Puka Nacua, Michael Wilson, Michael Pittman, Casey Concepcion, and then Loveland and Kincaid. Again, I apologize. I'm on a small monitor now for you guys, so the screen share is a little bit squirrely here. But again, appreciate all of you so much coming in, hanging out, putting up with this wonky stream. I'm glad I started the stream early because I probably wouldn't have gone live if we didn't have power. Go Easy Cards asks Dobbs or Pearsall. For me, it's Dobbs. With Mike Evans going to the Niners, Pearsall. I think Pearsall is fine. But I think Dobbs is the wide receiver 1 attached to Drake May that we're all into. I think I prefer that. I like Pearsall well enough though. Hey, Steven, GM, everyone. GM to you, Steven. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Appreciate you coming in and hanging out. Likewise, Joel. As you all can notice, I am in the dark. The power is out in my house. Bukowski loves the running back room. Yeah, this is a pretty fun running back room, I have to say here. What do we got? We got Ken Walker, Jacobs, Judkins, and Blake Corum. So yeah, I think this is a pretty nice start as well. Go Easy Cards asks, what players are you worried about most coming off an injury? Insert Scatabo here. Yeah, for me, it has to be Scatabo. And so much of that is exposure related because I'm so overexposed to scat there. I'm going to take Omar Cooper if he does not go to New Collector. New Collector takes Woody Marks. I've been out on Woody Marks, but I think at pick 165, there does come a point where he does have some interest as the satellite back in Houston. He is live for a spike game or two, and I think once you're in this 165 range, that's good enough. So everyone has a price. Woody Marks, when he was in 120, I had 0 of. I'll start taking him here when I need running backs in this range. So we'll grab Omar Cooper, shore up the wide receiver room just a touch. Go Easy Cards for other players coming back from injury. I'm shadily worried about Shakir. I don't love that he had some kind of foot surgery or ankle surgery. I'm hearing it was like tightrope. That would be really bad. He's a guy that I was really into. I'm much more worried about his injury recovery than I am about DJ Moore. I think they are. I don't see DJ Moore as being worth like 40 picks of ADP more than Shakir if they were all healthy. So I have some concern about Shakir. We'll have to see where that is. But that was kind of like an underreported injury. But mostly I think because people just are out on are not into Shakir. I'll just take Jerry Jeudy here. That's fine. We're tied to the Browns a little bit. I think from a talent perspective, Jerry Jeudy pick 172 makes enough sense. Trey Benson, he is plummeting down the board. I think all this ADP value is illusory. With Connor and Algier there, Trey Benson is... You don't want to be drafting running back threes if you can avoid it. Primetime KG says, well, the Ravens can never be trusted again. What a terrible... It is bad. If they really weaseled out of this trade, they really did kind of screw the Raiders. The Raiders missed out on so much free agency. I'm sure they would have liked to have signed a wide receiver, but they were probably planning to use the Ravens pick on one of those guys, and now they can't. So that was pretty sketchy. Bukowski says, GM to Steven. Chaito, hey, first of all, GM to you. Stuck in traffic. Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst. I hope it clears up, and I'm sorry we're gonna have to make this kind of a short stream. Again, we got no power here, but we're soldiering on. B Grandy asked if I'm having random bad weather. It is the most beautiful day in weeks. There is no bad weather here right now. We're supposed to be getting a storm tomorrow, but it's just bad weather. I mean, it's just like bad luck. Bukowski says, since David Montgomery signing, I'm actually starting to like Marks a little more. Yeah, I agree. I feel like Marks is fine because he's going to get the role that he should get. And we have seen they are willing to use him as a 3-down back if they have to. So if he definitely has some contingent value. Just he's not built to last a full season as running back 1, and we were paying a pretty hefty price for him earlier on. But again, around 165, I'll mix him in. I don't like love him, but I think that's a fair price for where we're getting Marks now. The sidekick is telling me to continue to draft wide receivers. The good folks at leg up seem to be favoring Zachariah Branch. They have him as the highest here. Let's see, their running backs. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of an unpleasant range here. Not my favorite group. Zachariah Branch, Tank Dell. I think I would take Tank Dell here. Shamiri DK, he's been falling since they brought in Wandale, but I think that's fine. I think Wandale has shown he can play on the outside. DK DK, I don't think DK just went to 0. But I'll grab a Tank Dell share. If he's healthy, man, this is an incredible price for Tank Dell. Obviously, they brought in Knoll and Higgins, so it's a little bit of a crowded wide receiver room. But I think a Tank Dell back to where he was dusts those guys. So we'll grab that. A little bit of a risk, but I think it's worth it down here late in the 16th round. Joel says Hendrickson to the Ravens. The conspiracy bros are having themselves a day, for sure. The machine is telling, gosh, it is so happy with 4 running backs. The sidekick is just totally good with stopping at 4 backs if it thinks you're good. And I'm a little less. I'm gonna take Tank Dell. I think he is the backup in Philly. I don't think it's Shipley. I think it's I think it's Bigsby. And we'll get 2 guys named Tank on a team. I mean, what could go wrong there? So for the audio listeners so far, we got a 3-5-7-2. Jaden Daniels, Sam Darnold, Fernando Mendoza, Ken Walker, Josh Jacobs, Quinshon Judkins, Blake Corum, and Tank Bigsby. Puka Nacua, Michael Wilson, Michael Pittman, Casey Concepcion, Omar Cooper Jr., Jerry Jeudy, and Tank Dell, and then Colston Loveland and Dalton Kincaid. So a pretty balanced team, I'd say. Maybe wide receiver. We kind of went almost an anchor wide receiver strategy with Puka. Our wide receiver 2 is Michael Wilson, but I'm pretty in on Wilson this year. Go Easy Cards. I can't help myself clicking Jeudy and Ridley in the 15th round or later. Wide receiver 1 on bad offenses, I know, but round 15. I mean, you remember Go Easy Cards. Jerry Jeudy was a nobody took him in the dog bowl, but if you did, you would have had a giga smash in the 6th round of that contest. So yeah, there is something to be said for these wide receiver 1s on bad teams that are going to have those weeks where they score 6.5 fantasy points and are useless. But they're also going to have those weeks where the game script goes their way. They get a little bit of luck from some good QB play, and they can go off. So I'm with you. I'm with you. I like Jeudy and Ridley that late too. Tiger Uppercut, GM to you. Hope you're having a great day. We're sitting here in the dark. We got no power. We're doing our best though. Hartman, do you like any Patriots wide receivers other than Dobbs? No. Short answer is no. I don't. I do not like Booty. I do not think he's very good. I could see the Patriots. I could see the Patriots potentially drafting another receiver. I don't know. I'm pretty out on the other Pats receivers at this point. I'm not sure what Booty's current ADP is. 160. Yeah, I mean that's definitely more palatable than it was. And maybe I should start considering that. But I'm still pretty lukewarm on that. I agree with the sidekick on Jeremy Bernard. I think that's who I would take if New Collector doesn't. New Collector takes Najee. I'm going to grab Bernard here. I'm assuming it's not going to flip on me. Yeah. All right, we'll take Jeremy Bernard. All right. Again, appreciate all of you so much putting up with this wonky stream here. The power is out. But we fight on. The sidekick is really, there's just no running backs. It's just telling me not to take another running back. That is so interesting to me. Because I'm actually kind of trying to get a little more Claiborne, and I just feel like I see a little more value in that than I do in the in taking another dart throw at receiver. We're pretty. I don't know. We have a lot of darts. we have a lot of darts on this team, but I do feel like if Claiborne is a win, he could kind of be a big win. We'll see. If he doesn't come to me, I'll listen to the sidekick and I'll take a Jacoby Lane or one of these other rookies that it's asking me to take. Go Easy Cards asking, will I take the new Arizona wide receiver Bourne? Who did they just sign? Are you Oh, Kendrick Bourne. Sorry. Geez Louise. I was thinking I thought you said booty, and I was thinking you were making a player comp. No, I doubt I will be drafting AZ Bourne. I feel like I got burned with Zay Flowers, or excuse me, Zay Jones last year, getting really cute with the Arizona wide receivers, and I feel like Bourne is giving me vibes that I'm galaxy braining it yet again. All right, we'll queue up Parkinson. I don't think I want Theo Johnson anymore at pick 188 with likely coming in. And then I'll queue up Michael Mayer. We'll pull the string, play the hits if Michael Mayer comes to us. I really like Michael Mayer. I don't think there's a ton of tight ends who have a real contingent value, but I think he's one of them. If something happens to Bowers, I think Michael Mayer is a giga smash. I think he's also going to have just random week-to-week value, in a sort of Dawson Knoxy kind of way, and is absolutely live to get traded. So we will see. Bukowski asks, what are the chances Kyle Williams gets a bump in snaps for New England? It's definitely live. It's definitely live. He's one of those guys that I feel like I'm willing to wait more to BBM season till we have more clarity on. Where does he go? What's his ADP? 210. Yeah, I think he's certainly fine to mix in late. I think you could get enough good news or read the tea leaves to where he's a pretty interesting 16th to 18th round click. I don't see him rising any higher than that in BBM. This, of course, is a different contest, so you can't wait if your goal is to win the big board. I guess I have trouble seeing massive upside, but I guess you don't really need that late. So he's fine to mix in. I think he's fine to mix in. It could just be, yeah. I guess I just see him as in more of a murky situation than some of these other late clicks, or I just take a rookie. If I'm gonna take someone that I really don't know about, I'll swing for the fences on some of these rookies because I think Kyle Williams was fine, but I don't know. It feels a little crowded there. All right, let's see. We're gonna take one of these last tight ends. I think it's going to be Michael Mayer. If Michael Mayer for some reason is gone, I don't think I want Dawson Knox with Kincaid. I don't think I want Dawson Knox in the big board at all. All right, we get our guy, Michael Mayer. So for the audio listeners, this is Jaden Daniels, Sam Darnold, Fernando Mendoza, Ken Walker, Josh Jacobs, Quinshon Judkins, Blake Corum, Tank Bigsby, Demond Claiborne, Puka Nacua, Michael Wilson, Michael Pittman, Casey Concepcion, Omar Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Tank Dell, Jeremy Bernard, and then Colston Loveland, Dalton Kincaid, and Michael Mayer. All right. We could do another. We could do a little board if people want. I don't know if this stream is too wonky, but we could try to do a little board and then all right. But I do ask, please, if you can like the stream. We're streaming in the dark. We're streaming in the dark for you guys, waiting for 5 on a little board. Apologies if battery dies, if something happens, but we will fight through one more. We will fight through one more for you guys. Go AZ Cards. Would Captain Jean-Luc Picard use a machine to draft? No. Jean-Luc Picard famously navigated the Enterprise out of an asteroid field using its gravitational pull, which apparently the computer never would have thought of. So he would not need a machine to draft BBM. But I do, because I am not Jean-Luc Picard. FK Coolers, Bukowski says that's probably the only team is hoping. Sorry, that's probably what the team is hoping to do if they don't continue to add Douglas, odd one out. Kyle hopefully improves and contribute more. Yeah. You know what? I feel like he is definitely kind of fun at pick 210. You can sprinkle him in. There's going to be a lot of zeros. There's going to be a lot of zeros at pick 210. So betting on second year breakouts, why not? I think that's as good a pick as any. I mean, I was taking Torrey Horton on the second year breakout thesis, and I think that one went a little sideways with them bringing back Shaheed. And if anything, Diggs is on the way out. Like FK Cooler says, Pop Douglas. Yeah, that's not somebody that we're afraid of. And if he can't beat out Pop Douglas, then the bet was bad anyway, right? Like you were never gonna win if the blocker was Pop Douglas. So, all right, Jets Drop Bombs is hanging in there. We're waiting for one in the little board. Appreciate all of you again coming in, hanging out. Let me see. I might be able to adjust my zoom. All right. I think that'll make it a little easier to see the full board. Apologies, it might cut off like the last name on there, but we are again on a small laptop. Yeah, Tiger Up Locutus aboard would use a machine to draft. The collective wisdom of the collective. FK Coolers, I tell myself I've made worse picks, like when Derek Carr retired on us. That is, I think I had Derek Carr in like a 5.55 or something on DK. I didn't do very many, but you know what? We got the influencer 1.1 here, so we're at the 101. Mr. J Dubs here at the 4. We got Hartman at the 6. I don't recognize any other names, but appreciate all of you. So let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. We will take Bijan here at the 101, and off we go. Jets Drop Bombs. How many of us would have hammered 150 little boards? Many of us. Jets Drop Bombs. And I mean, it is frustrating they didn't make it 50 max, and they made it a huge size contest with only 20 max. So all of us, who really want to be doing this are all done. The only reason I have any little boards is because I saved them for the stream. If I didn't, I would have just gotten them done 3 weeks ago at least. So I agree. We'll take Bijan at the 101. Go Easy Cards asks, what character would you be on Next Generation? Probably Jordy. Probably Jordy LaForge. Just hanging out in engineering. I don't know. My favorite character growing up was Riker, but I'm like, man, Riker's really cool. I'd probably have been Jordy. Copy paste laid. How about that Ravens Hendrickson signing after back? It's pretty dicey. It's pretty sketchy. If I'm the Raiders, I am absolutely livid. Copy paste laid would have hammered 300 little boards. Dumb of them. I agree. And I don't understand why they don't do what DK does. Just make like a $3, a small $3.20 max that's just gonna fill over and over and over, and people will just join infinitely. Like, just keep them rolling like DraftKings does. Just make these small size contests, and when they're done, you just fire up a new one. It makes no sense to me. I know they're scared about pulling liquidity from the big contest, but anyone that's going to be rapid fire rolling small dollar contests is going to max those big contests anyway. So I just think they're leaving money and interest on the table to me. Primetime KG asks, how do you feel about Dontavian Wicks as a last round click? Just curious. I know it's last round, but what are the favorite last round clicks? I have not been clicking Wicks, to be honest. I just think there's like more fun clicks. Let me see. As far as late clicks for me are a lot of like rookie receivers. The Jeremy Bernard, Malik Washington, Devon Vele. I think Vele, the Saints didn't sign a receiver. I kind of like Vele as a really late click. I think he's interesting. People like Ted Hurst. You hear stuff about Bell. I think Slayton becomes a little bit clickable now with Wandale gone. Although I think he had a pretty good path last year, but didn't get there. But we've seen Slayton had multiple drops in the end zone that would have made him like a big spike week guy. So I don't know. I see the thesis on some of them. The late running backs, it's been like I'm still buying that Brashard Smith could have a role, or at least, you know, give you a week or two. I think from the skill position, those are the guys that I have interest in. I would love Bijan Bowers if I could get it. We'll see if we can. If Bowers is gone, I'll double tap Chase Brown and Josh Jacobs. I think that's where I'm going here. We'll see what Jonathan does. So, all right, we'll take a Brock Bowers share. And then the question is Chase Brown or Josh Jacobs. I actually think I'm aligned with the sidekick in Josh Jacobs over Chase Brown. I still see a little bit of fragility in Chase Brown. They both got... Oh, well, the sidekick has changed its mind. All right, sidekick. All right, sidekick. We're going to agree with you. Chase Brown. We're switching it. Because I guess I was going to say that the Bengals are live to draft somebody, but so are the Packers. They don't seem super into their backup running back situation, which is very murky currently. So we'll go Bijan, Bowers, Chase Brown. Kind of a fun start here. All right, let's see. Back to chat. All right, so again, I have to tab back and forth now, and it's kind of not great. Copy paste laid. Yeah, just make the big board 150 max, but for the little board, wonder if they ever thought of that. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how much effort or thought went into sizing some of these contests, or how much input from the community they take, or if they look at the data. I just don't know. Joel says the Ravens don't seem like the type to do something super shady. Maybe there's something legit with Crosby's recovery. All right, interesting. I mean, I obviously have no idea. Twitter though is aflame. Primetime KG, Josh Allen restructure opens $4 million in cap space. What are they gonna do with it? Why did they not do this before? There's nobody left. Who are they signing? I mean, I would love for them to bring in Juwan Jennings. I think that would be, bring in another receiver, because DJ Moore stinks. Copy paste late says Crosby was shooting hoops during his recap, I believe, so maybe he wasn't taking it seriously. Oof, that would be unfortunate. Jet Shot Bombs completely agree. In the small dollar contest, they have to know there's other options. Exactly. We'll just roll them on DK. Copy paste later. Their top 4 picks are hands down the best spot to drop from last year. Last year was middle of the board or open to debate. I tend to agree with you, copy paste laid, and that's why I'm slightly tilted that I have been underweight in my getting top 4 draft slots. I went over this a few weeks back, and it hasn't gotten a lot better. I am underweight on Bijan, Gibbs, Chase, and Puka. So, but and then this kind of 2-3 turn, I feel like you get some really fun clicks too. So I'm with you. I think the front end of the board feels a whole lot better. Hartman, they need to make sure people have money for the pick'em boost. Can't be punting it off in drafts. Yeah. Gosh. And it's like getting an interest-free loan for a year is not a bad thing. Like, that's how like banks used to make money. Just I'm sure they can put it in some kind of like CD or something, and make some money there. But no, you got to just infinitely rake us over the coals. All right, guys, you know what time it is. It's Cam Scatabo. We're gonna take our guy Scat here, and then let's see what the sidekick recommends. I don't really want to take Evans at the 4-5 turn. Man, it really has JMO buried here. I'll IKB that. I'll take the ADP value on Jamison Williams. He's not the most comfy click as your first wide receiver. I have to say, I do see that as not great. But this definitely could end up being a kind of hyper fragile running back team. And if I take another good running back, the sidekick may have me stop at 4 again, but we'll see. Copy paste. Yeah, Juwan Jennings in defense. Yeah, there you go. I'll be candid. I don't know the defensive players still out there in free agency. I haven't paid too much mind on that. Primetime KG, AJ Brown trade potentially. Yeah, that's true. That would take a pretty big amount of their cap to pull that through. But that would be that would make the Bills like really intriguing. Copy paste late. Bijan Bowers is so strong, and Nico Pickens, Olave, good arbitrage against the first round wide receiver. Yeah, exactly. I mean, those. I agree there that those receivers that you mentioned absolutely have as big a single game spike week upside as the early receivers. I mean, over the course of the season, I think they'll get outproduced, but it's just like a 1v1 in week 17. You know, what are you? Probably a 60-40 underdog. Like you're not like buried. I think you're you know, in the playoff weeks, you're definitely live to outscore those players, and a lot of that'll be schedule dependent and whatnot. Joel says, I get the frustration with contest sizing availability, but these guys know what they're doing. Underdog is printing money for a reason. Yeah, but I don't think they're printing money with the draft games, right? I think the draft games they see as a funnel to onboard us, so then they could use us for the things they make more money on. But I also think draft games keep us on the site. Like if I didn't have these drafts, I would never use Underdog. I guess that's partly because I'm not in a pick'em state, so maybe I'm not the target market, and I'm just they literally probably care about someone like me the least. But even if I had access to pick'ems, if I didn't have these draft games, I would probably just make bets. You know, I don't know. I feel like they underestimate the kind of pull that these draft games have for people like me. And if I did live in a pick'em state, you know, again, this would help keep me on the site. Hohames, sup fam? Hey, Hohames, appreciate you so much coming in, hanging out. For those of you unaware, my power is out, and I am streaming through a hotspot in the dark. So we're doing our best. So if you can, please like the stream. Please drop a sub. These things would all help so much. We're on the road to 750 subs, so we're doing our best. We're doing our best. This is a little board, and we will, we will try to bring you the best content we can, despite the struggles that we're having. All right, let's see. Man, David Montgomery would be pretty exciting. I doubt Jonathan lets me have him, because then I could be done at running back for a long time. If Monty goes, we do get Monty. I think we just jam that. I think we just jam Montgomery and back off running back pretty heavily. Let's see. Does it still want Tyson? I think I'm IKBing it, guys. You guys know this is a Michael Wilson channel. We're going to take him. We are going to take Michael Wilson here. So the draft rolls on. We'll see what we get as far as quarterback. I don't think we line up great for Goff. Isn't that going to be weird? Yeah. So we have picks 97, and then 120 is the pick after that. Jared Goff goes at 105. So he lines up much better for the Amon-Ra drafter, exactly at 105. So we'll have to decide if we want to take him at 97, because he is very, very unlikely to make it back to us 15 picks past ADP. Otherwise, again, our only natural partners are going to be Brissett, who we have some concerns about, and of course, Mendoza, who we do like, but I don't think his ADP lines up great either. Mendoza 140, we pick at 144. So again, we'll have to get a little bit of a faller, and we'll see where we are in the room. All right, let's see. Copy paste lay. Draft games to Underdog are like poker rooms to casinos, or take a small rake, but they're just a service for the big punter and the pit pick'ems. Yeah, that's definitely another way to think of it. Yeah, the money they make on drafts is such a small number on the overall balance sheet. Right, but we're also such a small cost to them, and we're really loud. Like, we're really annoying on Twitter. We're very vocal, but we also like promote the product. Like, I'm like, I'm not a big streamer, but I'm out here like, you know, showing their thing. And, you know, you have tons of streamers out there who are just constantly showing Underdog, and I'm sure they get a lot of new signups that way, you know. And if they didn't have these draft games and didn't have people streaming, you know, I'm not saying that they would go under, but I'm sure we're helping their bottom line. I'm not saying me personally, but just, you know, the aggregate of people streaming content is probably not insignificant to them. Who aims? I mean, for the people, we soldier on. We soldier on. All right, let's see. I would jam Mahomes here. I still can't believe it doesn't want me to take another wide receiver and doesn't have one for a while. Does not have one for a while. If Mahomes is gone, like I'm shocked it has Rico Dowdle this high when I already have 4 running backs. That is very surprising. I think we take Mahomes here, and then once Mahomes goes, I'm inclined to take Dobbs. I think I don't think he's going to come back to me. Let's see what happens. Well, let's click Mahomes. It's probably still going to have the running backs ranked up there. And it has Wandale. It has Wandale pretty high. Yeah. All right, I'll listen to it as far as that. I'm really have a hard time taking a 5th running back here over another wide receiver, especially with just JMO as wide receiver 1 is so thin. Michael Wilson has to work out, or this team's kind of dead. So I don't mind him as a wide receiver 2. Wandale wide receiver 3. We'll see. I do feel like it's highly unlikely that that Dobbs comes back because that ADP is fake at 126. All right. Let me see 1 second. All right. We're rolling along. Crazy Lamar fall. I missed the Lamar fall. Let me go back to that in 1 second. Flyfish. Yeah, but then they sponsor influencers, Overzet, Badge Bros, etc. to promote draft games. Again, I think that's just about a funnel. You get us hooked with the draft games and then push us into pick'ems. Greg, hey, first of all, Greg, appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Fellow long-suffering Dolphins fan. DKUI getting better all the time. Hopefully, hope UD pays for the oversight. Yeah. And again, I hope they really can. You know, if they're gonna lay people off and say it's for AI, I mean, that's as a human that really sucks. Like it's awful. But hopefully some of the things like the fraud detection can be done, through computers. But yeah, it is really disappointing to lose people focused on our draft games. FK Course 5 letting them free roll us via site credits is cheaper than any other advertising could bring in new people. Yep. Who aims? I woke up to the least shocking free agency news. Ravens sign Hendrickson. Yeah. The Ravens real scummy. Mr. Brad, least influential group is always the loud minority. Yeah, exactly. We're just screaming into the void, Mr. Brad. But at least we know we are. Who aims asks, have they said anything about draft games leaving, or is this normal fearmonger? No, they haven't said they're leaving, and I think they have said that they're still committed to the draft games. This all came up because of the sizing of the little board being so not what we wanted. The sizing of the little board was not what we wanted. FK Cores, yeah, and then if everyone plays any way, the complaints don't mean much. Exactly. We are I know the biggest name who I heard is doesn't want to play anymore is Jewish McCaffrey. I think he said he was going to wrap up his dingers and then not play anymore. We'll see. But I do know that he had said that. So there are some people who might make a stand on principle. Greg says, not sure what draw Underdog has for pick'ems. You get better choices on most of the bigger platforms, better promos. At least that's what I'm saying. I feel like again they underestimate how much doing this keeps us on this site. Joel says they've gotten thousands of people paying 4K at 11% rake to chase a $2 million lottery. Big board, little board are amusements. Yeah, we are small potatoes. FK wouldn't they rather have my 500 invested? Sorry, I'm up. I am up. Okay, he did go. Romeo Dobbs went. I'm gonna take. All right. Sorry, I panicked here. All right, we're gonna take Jalen Coker first, and then I think I'm actually gonna take Malik Willis over this other range here, over Darnold. I don't have any natural stacking partners. I think Malik Willis is perfectly fine to take unstacked. He's somebody that I'm overweight on. I will continue to be overweight on, and I'm glad I have a lot of him in the 130s to 140s because he's come up pretty much that full 24 picks to where he's essentially a full round of ADP value. But I'm pretty into Malik Willis. There, for the audio listeners, let me catch up on the team. We got a 2-4-4-1. We got Mahomes, Malik Willis, Bijan, Chase Brown, Scatabo, David Montgomery. Wide receiver room's a little thin. J-Mo, Michael Wilson, Wandale, Jalen Coker. But then we got Brock Bowers holding it down in the tight end room. Appreciate all of you so much. Again, my power is out. I am streaming on a hotspot. I'm on my laptop. I'm fighting for you guys. But, you know, again, I appreciate all of you so much coming in and spending the morning here despite all the struggles. All right, let's see. And getting back to chat. Jetshot Brahm says, FK, wouldn't they rather have my 500 instead of under DraftKings? I'm not making a $25 contest, but I'll go where the $3 and $5 options exist. Prefer Underdog, but not at $22 per draft. I'm in full agreement that they really should just run $1 20 max contests that fill and fill and fill. And if you have someone who just wants to put in 20 entries and auto draft all of them, they can. And if you have people that want to grind the $1 drafts and enjoy that, they can do that too. And I think everyone's happy. Just don't understand why they don't do that. It would cost them nothing, and they would get a little more rake, and they would make a lot of people happy. FK Coors agrees with that, Jets. Yeah. Ultimate White Male says, so many underdog players have Stockholm syndrome. They need to man up and show some balls. I know, but unfortunately, we just we don't have a lot of great options right now. I mean, underdog or DraftKings is nice, but so much of the liquidity for these draft games is here that if you want to make a stand, you would have to actually leave. And I just don't think most people want to, because they like doing these draft games so much. Copy Paste Lade says, yeah, if you have any line shopper tool, you're better off building parlays at whatever sports book has the better lines than the pick'ems usually. Yeah, that's kind of my thought too. And I know they had to boost the pick'em payouts probably to compete with that. It's, again, I think they underestimate the suction that these draft games have. Purple Yost, it's amazing you can stream so smoothly with a hotspot. I honestly thought I was going to use the hotspot to tell you all I had to go. But if I'm coming through clearly, I'm happy to get this second draft in, even if it's wonky. I think the biggest issue is my screen. My screen is so much smaller that it makes... You can see, like right now, you can see 3 players on my team. Oh gosh, I have to draft. Yeah, it's Mendoza. It's Mendoza and Downs. Oh man, this is... I mean, Bryce Young is intriguing. I do have Coker, but let's pair Mendoza with Bowers, and then Josh Downs, to me, big winner. Big winner in Indy with the departure of Pittman. I had been taking some of him. He's come up about 15 or so picks in ADP. I still think he's a really fun click there. I'll try to keep the board up for people as best I can. Mr. Brad, I mean, $1 contests are the bane to Underdog. Those provide them the least rake, but still have to do tech / make sure no collusion. So I guess why they don't have countless small contests. Yeah, but I think a lot of those collusion checks can be automated. I think a lot of that is truly automated, and honestly, I don't know how much collusion fears they have in $1 contests. I really don't know how much they're like truly doing on those. I would think that those would be automated to the point where where they would really just nuke draft boards where someone went crazy or someone got insane ADP value, or you just have two players playing together too often where one was getting a ton of ADP value and the other was constantly hemorrhaging ADP value, something like that. I think that could be pretty easily automated. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if I agree that it creates a ton of headache for them, but maybe you're right. I mean, I do not know the inner workings of how their collusion checks are currently constructed, or if they, I would imagine it's more of a manual look at the biggest board versus the $1 contest. Like, I'm sure they all get flagged and then reviewed by somebody. Jets drop bombs. I don't think I've ever had a $1 DK canceled, and there's definitely a lot of stupid stuff. Yeah, you have to let people do stupid stuff, and I guess that's the hard part, right? You don't want to police bad drafters. We all dream of the draft where there's some bad drafter, but we don't want to be in a situation where you have two people working together and are cheating, basically. Like, that's not good. But you have to let the Gilbert Arenases of the world exist. Like, you don't want because at a certain point you're gonna just tell people all you can do is draft within 10 picks of ADP, and then that sucks. We don't want to play in that world. Like, you have to let people make their own decisions. And maybe I want to make a draft where I'm stacking the Bills, the Browns, and the Giants, and I'm only taking teams from those. And so eventually I might have to reach really far. Like, that's a perfectly defensible strategy, but it's going to not agree with ADP at all, right? You have to let people do stuff. I say perfectly defensible. You know what I mean? It's not something that's like, I'm not trying to cheat. I'm just trying something. So I think it's very clear that you don't want to like police that kind of thing, but do want to stop people who are working together. All right, Tajay Spears is at the top of the list. That's kind of interesting to me. I think I'm going to go back to the Tank Dell well over that. Spears gosh, it's really grim here, huh? It's really grim at running back. I'm gonna take Calvin Ridley. I'm kind of interested to see what Tennessee does with Calvin Ridley, if he sticks around or not. They do have, I think they still have a bunch of cap room. They could conceivably just keep him. Otherwise, he's definitely a trade or cut candidate. That said, I think he's got enough talent. He showed some flashes that he's not completely dead. So I think he's kind of a fun upside swing in a room where I'm, really lacking wide receiver power. We've got for this team, we got J-Mo, Michael Wilson, Wandale, Coker, Downs, Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley. A lot of kind of potential spike week guys. I think you could quibble. If you don't think Wandale's in that, then fine. But a lot of guys that can pop week to week, but aren't going to give a ton of consistency. So, certainly live to end up with 9 receivers on this team. We went Bijan, Chase Brown, Scatabo, Monty, probably just one more running back on this team, and a couple more dart throws. All right. Oops. We can't see anything there. All right. FK Coors, it's like the home league trade veto Exactly. Chris wants to be at the table with 11 bad drafters. 100%. Exactly. Jet shop on exactly. FK stupid wins sometimes. Yep. FK Coors, we never installed trampolines for the Lemmings. No. Trampolines for Lemmings sounds like an indie band. I would think it's a solid band name. All right. It's very hard for me to check in on the friends and family in here, but I'll give it a go. Mr. Dubs, Puka, Henry, AJ Brown, Devontae, and Waddle. So I'm imagining that's Jalen Hurts. Yep. So he gets the Eagles double stack, assuming AJ Brown is back. Tyson, Kraft, Price, Love. So he gets the Love Kraft stack there. I don't think you have another Packer I'm seeing there. Concepcion, Bryce Young, Aaron Jones, and Tajay Spears. Let's see what Hartman's up to. Nice team there, J-Dubs. Jonathan Taylor, Drake London, Etienne, Ladd, Mike Evans, Lemon, and then he gets Herbert stacked with Ladd. Purdy, he takes Dobbs at pick 102, so not too far after my pick there at 97. So new ADP for Dobbs certainly coming. Kincaid, Kittle, Coleman, Brooks, Omar Cooper Jr., David Njoku, and Brian Robinson. So nice team there from Hartman. All right. The machine is asking for me to take some wide receivers and tight ends. I will probably oblige it at this point. Singleton at 190. That's a little early. I did have some interest in Singleton, but clearly not for this team. Let's take Surratt and then see what the sidekick wants us to do. I'm really out on Hawkinson. I think I'd rather take let's do Zachariah Branch. Let's take Zachariah Branch here on this team, and then we'll stop at 9 receivers. I think this is going to be a 3-5-9-3 team. I don't love ending with just one tight end. I think the late tight ends are just as likely to hit your flex as the late wide receivers. And tight end is such an injury-prone position. Might need someone to bridge Bowers for a few weeks or whatnot. So we'll probably go with 3 tight ends, but we'll see. Of course, sometimes the one hole can be a little weird how you end up the draft. I think they're signed up to sub pop. I need some help there, FK Coors. I apologize. But everyone, I appreciate y'all so much coming in and hanging out. If you can, like the stream. I know it's a little wonky today. We got no power, but we're fighting through it. Thankfully, my battery was fully charged before we started today. Hey, TD, Mr. Mufasa, good morning to you. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Oh, okay. FK Coors, that's an indie record label. I assumed it had something to do with the indie band, but again, I was not in the streets enough. I was not in the streets enough to continue off of my own bit there. But again, hope everyone's morning is starting off right. We're here and a little bored. We got some friends and family in the room. And free agency is rolling along. Still waiting on Juwan Jennings. Still waiting on Rashad White. We'll see where they go. We are about 6 weeks from draft day. Let me see. Days till NFL draft. We are 43 days away. 43 days away from the draft. Ultimate White Male asking a good question. Yes. Okay. First of all, he said, I saw it mentioned Gumby spent $90K in entries to win his dog ball seat, assuming that was a joke. What do you think the average player spends in pursuit of that seat? Yeah. So the bit was ship my money was in some Twitter bat about the cost you get to the dog bowl. How, you're fighting for 200K, but he said that it's 90K to enter, which I assume he knows it does not. I think even if you max it every slate, I don't know if you'd hit 90K or not. Hold on, let me make a pick and then we'll get back to that. All right, we'll do Pat Fry and Colby Parkinson. I think that's fine. And then there was a little bit of back and forth there. What does the average player spend? Let me see. So it's $50 entry, $150 max is $2,250. Were there 12 slates? I think there were 12 dog bowl slates. If there were, that's $27,000. If there were 10 slates, that's $22,500. If you maxed it every time. So not quite 90K. I would say the average person probably puts in. It just depends what is average, because I feel like you do have a lot of people that do max it, and then you have a lot of people that don't, and what do those people put in? 20 entries a week, 50 entries a week. Assuming the average person puts 20 at it, that would be 300 a slate. And then assuming there's 10 slates, that's like $3,000. So probably around I'd say the average person shoots 3 to 5K at it. It's hard to know. That's a good question. I guess I just don't know what a normal person who's trying to chase the seat spends. And I'm not even going to put what you get back, because you get back such a small percentage each week. You basically get wiped out if you don't get the seat. The NFL Dog Bowl is pretty brutal. I was doing between 30 and 50 entries a week to get there. And, that adds up, because those are $25 drafts. So it's if you don't hit it, it is absolutely killer on the roll. There are definitely people that made the Dog Bowl and were net negative on it. So it's certainly about chasing the seat and the experience more than just the prize at the end of it, I would have to say. I do think that Ship My Money, I know he's not a big fan of Underdog, does make a point. If your goal is to max, it is probably not the best way to spend your money, because a certain amount of fees definitely going towards the experience. So, that said, 90K is absurd, and I think he would tell you that he was, exaggerating that slightly. All right, let's see. Is there a running back we want? Yeah, we're running out of time. We are running out of time. I don't think I want Joe Mixon. Ugh. This is gross. Seth McGowan. All right. Seth McGowan, welcome to the team. We got a 3-5-9-3. Mahomes, Malik Willis, Fernando Mendoza, Bijan, Chase Brown, Cam Scatabo, David Montgomery, and Seth McGowan. I'm sure the sidekick might be right. Maybe we should have stopped at 4. What is Seth McGowan really doing? I don't know. We'll find out. Jamison Williams, Michael Wilson, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Coker, Josh Downs, Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, and then Elijah Surratt, Zachariah Branch. So we went with volume at wide receiver. And then Brock Bowers, Pat Fry, and Colby Parkinson. Maybe I should have taken a running back instead of Parkinson. And then at tight end, go with this Arroyo, Sanders, Evan Ingram, kind of range. But we didn't. No problem. No problem, sir. Joel says, Ship My Monies, and every dinger draft I do, he can't be that mad at Underdog. Mad's the wrong word. I'm not trying to, I don't want to end up in people saying I'm talking about Ship My Money. I'm just trying to say what happened in this. I think he just generally views some of the Underdog culture in a negative light. I don't think I think I'll leave it there. But everyone, this was fun. I've got no power, so I'm going to go back to my dark house and hope that the power comes back on. But if you can, for me, like the stream, leave a comment after. That would be huge. Appreciate all of you so much for coming in this morning, hanging out. And I will, assuming the power is on, I will see you all tomorrow. Take care, everyone.